just after I was getting out of Bible school, I began to ask God, okay, now what am I to do? I went to Los Angeles. We did some inner city work. Then I went to Haiti, and we did some work there as well. And I remember that the following year they began to mention a trip to Guatemala. And that the youth were going on this mission trip. And I said, you know what? This year I think I'm going to stay home. I don't think I'm going to go. You know what? God, and I began to make negotiations with God. How many have ever done that?
Yeah.
Bad mistake.
Yep.
I began to make negotiations where I said, God, you know what? I won't go this year. I'm just going to pay for somebody else. I'll help somebody else go. I'll give in the offering. I'll give so that others can go. And I remember that a few weeks had passed by and I'd already given quite a bit of money so that others could go. And there was one night where I couldn't sleep. There was one night where I was just shifting and turning, and God began to say to me, what are you going to do this summer? What are you going to do this summer?
Praise God.
He said, if you're not going to go on the mission trip, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I don't know. I got to work. I had all kinds of excuses. But I realized now that I was about to miss my destiny. I was about to miss what God had for my life. But because I was lined up with Him, because I said, God, I want to do your will. God, I'm set apart for you. He began to speak to me and He said, Stephen, I do not want your money. I want your life.
That's right. Come on.
And I remember going on this, I just thought it was a 2-week mission trip. 10 years later, and I say, God, when is it going to end?
That's right.
And I remember going on this mission trip, and it completely changed my life. I knew by the time the 2 weeks were over that was the place that God had wanted me to be. Yes. And I think, God, I almost missed out. I'm sure God would have had other ways to shift me, and I might have lost some time, but I believe that I was there for that moment.
Yes.
And so I just want to encourage you that be wise and say, God, we want to line up with your moment.
Yeah.
Don't doubt what God's going to do.
That's right.
Believe God when He says He's going to do something so radical. He's going to completely change your life. He's going to completely change the circumstances. I believe there's people that are going through so many tough circumstances, so many things are coming against you. But God is saying that this is the time. This is your kairos. This is the time that God is going to change these circumstances. Right. He's going to move things around, and He's going to make it happen so that you just begin to walk in your destiny. Amen. You're not going to begin to understand it. You're not going to understand exactly what's happening. But God is just going to come in, and He's going to take it, and He's going to change your life around.
That's right.
Amen.
God is saying, church, line up. Line up. These are the times. It's not time to be playing around. It's not time to just say, okay, that was a great conference I received. I'm going to wait for the next one.
No.
It's time to say, what are we going to do? Are we going to go out and reach the lost? Are we going to go out and start to bring them in? It's quiet.
Good food.
Are we going to say, man, I can't wait till these brothers come again?
No.